We're gonna, John, Lisa, and Cam, we all about to head out to Nutrilite. Go see Nutrilite. Right. So John was lost. He went for a walk and forgot he was in California. Didn't know his way around.
That's right.
So
ended up in Vegas.
That's right.
But I still have my money in my pocket.
Yeah. So I think we go on down this way. Huh?
You have any idea where we're headed?
Yeah.
We got the address in the phone, so.
No, first we need a car.
We got the car, brother. We got the car.
Way back here.
That's right.
We're on the way back, huh?
Yeah. I did my steps going down the stairs to go get breakfast, and that was it.
You go. Well, steps are even better.
That's right.
Oh, you did
Steps are even better.
Give
me a second. Let me find out what I did.
What floor are you on?
11.
Yeah, give me that. I'm gonna shine it at you.
All right. Appreciate it. All right. There we go.
All right, talk to me.
Man, we are here, life-changing, ready to turn the tide. Go Diamond. Go Diamond,
Go
baby,
Diamond.
right? That's what I'm talking about.
3.63 miles, 8,100 steps.
Here we are. We're at the Nutrilite. I'm so excited.
You know who we ran into last night? It was Steve and Laura Jones. Mm-hmm. We were talking to him about the elevator.
Here, you want them to take a picture of us?
Yes, I do.
In background?
Yes, I do.
Take a picture.
There's Sam Rehnborg right there. Look at him. Right on that tree.
Jolene.
The pepper tree talks. A pioneer in the field of nutrition.
You gonna sit with him?
He's not going to move.
There you go. He don't seem to be complaining.
No, he's not. He's not talking back.
All right.
He said, sponsor 6, go wide.
Yep.
All right.
Carl Rehnborg, a pioneer in the field of nutrition and the founder of Nutrilite supplements, was a man of insatiable curiosity. He was seldom without a book in hand. One of his favorite pastimes was exchange ideas with others under the shade of a giant pepper tree in the Hemet farm. He shared his knowledge on a wide range of topics, including his philosophy of optimal health. It was treasured time for all of those who gathered with the impetus for the Pepper Tree Talk, a column in the employees' newsletter focusing on ideas and thoughts that he felt were important to all. Carl Rehnborg's life and his enduring vision for Nutrilite have inspired millions of people to maintain a healthy curiosity about the world and to have the courage and commitment to achieve their own dreams. Our illustrious leader has arrived.
Exciting. Yes, sir. You got everything down in New Orleans under control? Control? What I'm trying to get What about...
There's our sweet twins. Love y'all. How you doing? There you go.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
I think you're part of the staff. And they'll be asking you all the questions.
And I'll make up every answer, make it sound right. Right?
The kids, we took a trip one time on a riverboat, and the kids bought my husband a captain's hat, and he wore the thing, and people would ask him, how much is this in the water? He says, it's a, and he'd give those nautical terms,
right.
what the drag was on that boat, or the float, or whatever it was. And he answered all these questions, and they thought he knew something. He just had the hat.
Look, people say, can I ask you a question? I said, I'll give you an answer. I may not know what I'm talking about, but I'll make it sound good.
Good deal. Well,
if I don't know the answer, I'll make it up.
My husband never told me. And it was a shock that he was talking to all these people that he didn't know.
That's great.
And the story was I never gave him a chance to talk.
Oh, well.
No, he just was a listener. He was a lawyer, and he says it's worked pretty well to be able to listen.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's like the old saying goes, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Right. I had a chair. I could sit and bench her.
I guess you had to sit on that little thing over there. They don't. Well, you could sit with Carl Rehnborg's statue.
Honestly, recognize you're melting away.
Well, yes. Ron and I both, we've collectively lost right about 40 pounds together.
Really?
Yeah. How you doing? You too. You too.
Where's Honda?
She is over there somewhere.
She's somewhere.
Yeah. Yes, we're all mere shadows of our former selves.
I know, right?
Yeah. How you been?
Taking a picture of everybody?
Oh yeah, in video, man. I'm just checking it out. How you been? Good to see you. What you doing, nice lady?
Hey,
How are you?
I am great. How about you?
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful.
He was probably doing donuts out there, screwing around.
Since my hand's busy. What's going on, brother?
Good. Good.
What's happening?
Lovely.
Good to see you. Good to
Good to see you.
Everything lovely?
Lovely.
Man, I'm telling you what. Isn't this cool to be here? Hi, ladies.
Hey, how are you today?
Doing good. How's everything? That's what I'm talking about. All right. We'll find my wife. How's Brother Deaton doing?
Great. Thank you for helping out with
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Oh, doing great. Doing great. I'm just glad to be here. You hear me?
I just dialed your phone.
Oh, okay.
I was going to put it in my contacts, and it dialed it.
Here we are going in.
Good job.
Thank you.
Whatever paperwork you got, Mama, that you can grab it. That's a photo op there. Look at that. Wow, this is an enormous complex.
Looks like we're in this
We're right here. Yeah, there's the outside. Yeah. Wow. Oh my goodness, I wonder. Well, we'll find out where we go. This is amazing.
So that's something very good, and congratulations to you. That's very positive. Okay, so my name is Hilda Cordova, and I'm here for the first time.
We are.
Second time.
First time.
Okay, first time. And how long have you been in the business so far?
Right.
A long time.
I mean, more than 5
Yeah.
years?
Oh yeah.
Lower than 5 years? Okay, variety. I want you to know that not too long ago, I had a couple. They came from the Dominican Republic. They were diamonds. They were 25 years in the business, and for the first time, they had the opportunity to be here. Wow. So if you're in the United States, use us. This is your home. This is a place where you can bring someone else, because many groups, they do that. They just get together, somehow they fly together, or they rent a bus together, and they're here enjoying what is yours. Because it's easy to talk about in the catalog, to have information online, but when you're here, you're gonna walk away with a different feeling. And I hope that this is what happened today. Okay, so here in quality assurance, our scientists make sure that absolutely everything is with the quality that is expected and also is safe. For example, here is our double X. In order for double X to be in your hands, anyone takes double X in here? Wow. Okay.
Job security,
So in order for double X to be in your hands in a safe way, we have to make sure the 2 vitamins that we have in double X, they have the levels that we need. The 10 minerals that we have in double X, they're free from bacteria and contaminants. The 20 plant concentrates that we have in double X, they're exactly the way we mentioned it in our boxes. So everything is to pass quality control. So how many tests do you think double X needs to have in order for double X to be in your hands in a safe way? Tell me a number, any number.
How many tests? Oh,
100.
yeah.
100, okay, over there.
500.
Any other number? 400? Who says 500? 500, exactly. 500 tests.
Oh, he's been here before.
Stars from the time it finished because it's very complex. It has so many nutrients that we have to make sure they're present. Everything needs to be free from bacteria and contaminants, and also we have to make sure that it's safe and correct the way and shape and all those details. So there are 500 tests. But our scientists know if we are not very careful to make sure that everything will pass quality control, we can have a very serious problems because it will have 6 bacteria. Bacteria doubles in our stomach every 20 minutes. So it will be in an hour, in 2 hours, in 3 hours, we will have more than 3,000 bacteria. This is the reason why our scientists have to make sure that absolutely everything will pass quality control because we're working with human life. I want you to know that we are in 64 countries and all of us in the countries, we are a big family in Nutrilite. So everybody in the family needs to be safe. So from the seed to the finished product, everything needs to pass quality control. Please follow me. And this is the big. Okay, so over here we have a sample. I want you to know that in production, every 30 minutes, we're taking a sample to make sure they're not broken, they're not affected, they're free from bacteria, they're free from contaminants, they have the right shape, they have the correct weight. So every 30 minutes in production, we take a sample. Over here, we have our new vitamin B. As you see, it has two tones, 2 colors. Hold on a second. So what I'm saying is, imagine that we have a big box. And we're doing compression. Every 30 minutes, we're taking a sample. Every single one of the bags, it had a different code. They register them over here and they put them over there as samples. All the scientists pick up the samples. If one of them we do not give a green light, we're talking about the 1 hour and a half of production of vitamin B can only from here. Could you imagine the amount of material invested? The amount of hours invested for that to not pass quality control? That's why it's very important. Before we're going from one step to the next, first we need to pass quality control before we continue to the next step so we can finish with a safe and healthy product. Please follow me. 10 hours a day, and they're working Monday to Thursday only. So many of the departments are closed unless production they need to hurry up with product, they work it as they need it. But over here is where our scientists they do testings. We have to make sure that the vitamins and herbals are with the levels required, and they're using 20 different kind of instruments to do these testings. And behind you, this is where they clean it and they sterilize everything. And this is very important. This is the safety shower. Please do not touch it. I don't want you to take a shower in Nutrilite. Thank you. Okay, this graphic that you see here, it is due to our high pressure color chromatography. Those machines that you see here are chromatographies. Every horizontal line represents a reading of one chromatography, and every peak, it represents the level of vitamins or the level of phytonutrients that we can see in the product. So right now we have 20 chromatographies. The chromatography's value, it is $100,000. Whoa. I want you to remember this graphic because I'm going to give you a deeper explanation in a different location. Please follow me. Over here are scientists. They do testings about the minerals to make sure that all the minerals that we have it has the levels that we need that are safe. Also, they have to make sure that we don't have alienations with things that can harm us, like lead or mercury, for example. They have to make sure that everything that we're receiving minerals is for the quality that we expected. And behind you, this is where scientists have to make sure that vitamins are going to be able to dissolve between 10 to 15 minutes, because as scientists know, if it doesn't dissolve before 30, it's not going to be any absorption. For example, if a child swallows a button, the stomach is recognizing at 30 minutes, you're not helping me with digestion, you're not bringing me any nutrition. What it does is, as a mechanism of defense, is going to encapsulate it and it's going to make an exit. That's the reason why as scientists have to make sure that our vitamins are going to be able to dissolve between 10 to 15 minutes. Next to the brown container, there are some silicone adapters. They put the vitamins in there. After that, we have a tank of water, and next to the tank of water is a tube. So they put the silicone adapters with the vitamins in the tube, and what it does is submerge them in the water, like making simulation of our stomach movement to make sure the vitamins are going to be able to dissolve between 10 to 15 minutes. And you can make simple samples when you are explaining absorption. You can do, you can put 2 glasses of water. I would say warm because our bodies are warm. And one you can put of calcium, and in the other one you can put the calcium from outside. You can notice our calcium starts dissolving and integrating with the molecules of the water before 10 minutes. And the other one, it can pass a week and it doesn't dissolve. Yeah, it doesn't dissolve. One time I had experience where they have this calcium, it was 2 pieces capsule. And they opened it. I mean, we left it in there and it was not happening, nothing. So I was like, well, it should open. Like, it is a lighter material, that the coating, the overcoating it should be opening. So that anyway, we got tired and somebody decided to just open the 2-piece capsule. Well, the powder was on the top, was not integrated with the molecules of the water. So they decided to just mix it, and it went in between, but it got again on the top. So I was like, what is it that is so light? It has to be, more molecular structure in it. Why is it so light? And I checked the bottle, and it said that it was a talc, the baby powder talc.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, that is just weird. Like, how could they sell this as a calcium and it says it's talc? I don't know if it was one of the ingredients. I have no idea, but it was surprises to me. So this is what you can find it and see. And I have another lady who she went to Costco. That was the usual car that she was taking, and she came after my first store that she saw, and she said, I think what you said. I put my vitamins for calcium in a water, and it passed a whole 3 days and it was not dissolving. So I got so angry and I just threw them the whole bottle, my Costco bottle of calcium, in the toilet. And she says, I was flushing it and flushing and it wasn't leaving. So she says, I had to buy big gloves and just get it out because it was driving me crazy. So that's a way that you can explain absorption. Okay? Do we have any questions?
Why didn't she just use the trash can?
Okay. We're going to go to the second floor. Everybody can go upstairs.
I'm sorry. Paul Hill.
People just come a little bit towards the front so the tallest people can be in the back and everybody can see.
I'm not that short, but I'm here anyway.
You will not have it, trust me. Everybody's here, right? Okay, so this is our microbiome lab. Our scientists make sure in here that absolutely everything is free of bacteria. They do sanitary testing in our machines, in all our machines. Before we want to work with the next formula, they have to make sure that it's free from bacteria. They check all the raw materials, have to like the ones that we have here on the table. They check all the premixes, and the finished product. I see some capsules also that are finished over there. So they have to make sure that absolutely everything is free from bacteria. This laboratory works every day. They work in Sunday to Sunday. And they are very careful that absolutely everything, it has the quality that we expected, because that could be very serious. Over here, scientists, they do analysis of vitamin B, that the different formulas that we have in the different micro levels. Every formula has a different micro levels, and they have to be measured in a different way. So over here, they tested the micro levels. For example, they do the new vitamins for children, they call them chewable. They have to make sure that this one it is correct, different totally from the micro levels that need to be in our double X, for example, or rhodiola from vitamin B. So they have to make sure that over here it is what the quality expected. Please be careful with this card, as you know, we cannot touch that one. Over here, scientists do all the media preparation for the microbiology lab, and also they sterilize everything that they working in this for. Behind you is basically our first laboratory, where our scientists have to make sure that all the raw material that we receive it has the quality that we expected. They check molecular structure, they check coloration, density, potency. They have to make sure that all the materials that we receive it doesn't have humidity. So this laboratory is very strict because they can reject any product. They also have to make sure that all the material that we receive, it is free from contaminants. Things that can come in the product, and not necessarily bacterial, but they could be contaminants like, for example, insects, cardboard, stones, glass, plastic. So they have to make sure that all these things are not in the product. And we have in the warehouse, we have two warehouses. One that receives all the raw material, and the other warehouse that is production warehouse. So nothing goes to the production warehouse unless this laboratory check in every single level, like similar to every 30 minutes, every single level of the production that is coming, that it has the quality expected. So this laboratory is very, very strict, and they have a lot of responsibility because they can reject any product. And sometimes in transportation, we don't know what happened. It has happened that we receive material that doesn't meet our standards, and they need to negotiate with the companies. As you know, we are receiving minerals from different parts of the world. The minerals that we have in our plants, they're not necessarily with the levels required, so we need to obtain them, and we get them from different parts of the world. So it has happened that sometimes material could be having humidity, like we don't know what happened in transportation. So sometimes they have to put in these companies to decide, what do you want me to do with this product? You want me to return it so you can see what's happening, or should I discard it? So sometimes they will have to pay double to discard it, to return it, so they'd rather just let's get rid of it. So that's how this laboratory works in production.
So it's done by batch, so you can identify?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we may not invest in publicity, but we do invest in quality.
That's good. That's right, yeah.
Please follow me. Okay, so this is a sensory laboratory. Over here, scientists, they have to do testing side to side and colorate and make sure that the vitamins, they smell alike, they look alike, and they taste alike. Or guess who? Our children, because they're the most strict clients. It has to look alike, smell alike, and taste alike. So over here is a sensory lab. And in this other laboratory, our scientists review all the material that is coming from the neutral certified farms. We are neutral certified the farmers to get production from them. So when it's here in the United States, it's winter, it's a part of the world in summer, and we can obtain whatever we need at the time we need it. For everything that is coming from these farms is being tested in here to make sure that everything it is the farm has not been treated either with pesticides or also with radiation. That's another way of eliminating the plagues in the farms. Do you have any questions? No? Okay, we're gonna go downstairs. Whoever needs the elevator, And I do apologize, I did not ask you this before, but could you just leave the group downstairs? If anyone needs the elevator, you're welcome to come in here.
Really nice.
Last year for a couple of years, and I think we just moved them out. I think she's done
Our tour guide explained that Nutrilite is the only company in the United States that has its own private bridge that crosses over any government property. That was to avoid them having to go all the way around with their products into this part of the plant. So Nutrilite had such a good reputation that the government allowed their own private bridge.
Chair. Yay. Oh, great.
Wow, look at this.
Thank you.
Different products in different countries.
Okay, so now we're gonna see a video that talks about our farms that are organically certified, and also, I'm sorry, I said something wrong. No, we're gonna see a video that talks about our farms, that our process is organic and is also sustainable, and the farms that we're neutral certified to obtain production from there. As you know, when in the United States is winter, the part of the world is summer, and we can obtain whatever we need in the time we need it. So the movie is around 6 minutes, so I'll go back to speak as soon as we're finished.
The airport in Atlanta.
I do apologize, the movie was not working. Okay, well, as you know, in Nutrilite, we are integrated with Amway. Amway, it is based on nutrition and beauty and also in home. And we are in more than 100 countries in Amway, but we are in 64 in Nutrilite. Why we are less in Nutrilite? Because we need to get permission from the Department of Health in order for them to allows the product to be in their country. Sometimes the review of our product, it can take months, sometimes it can take years, and we cannot force anybody. So this is another answer why we don't have so many products in other countries that we have in the United States. So if any one of you downlines ask you why we don't have in Russia this product or in Spain this other product, is because of that. We need to get permission from the Department of Health. Okay, please follow me.
I have a question.
Yes.
I noticed, just out of accident, that I heard you that there's different shaped pills for different countries.
Correct.
Some of them.
Yes.
Is it because not a lot as much as is allowed in those countries as far as dosages and that kind of thing?
Exactly. Many of the countries, we have to do regulations based on what the country is allowing us to do. And sometimes they don't allow so many levels of whatever, so we consider it is needed. But also diet is also different. For example, right now we have, actually, I think I have one in here. Yes. We have a chewable calcium for the kids in Korea, the kids in Taiwan, and also in China. But why we don't have this calcium for our children in the United States? It's because we don't need it. We have a diet rich on calcium. In our diet, we have milk, we have cheese, we have yogurt, we have ice cream. That's part of our diet. But they are lactose intolerant over there. So what the Nutrilite realizes, in these kids, they have early osteoporosis. So what are we doing? Well, it's creating this nutrition for them to stop this development they're having. So this is what Nutrilite does. See what the needs are in the different regions, totally compare with what we needed here. Another example, when I went to Rancho Petacal in Mexico, I saw that we have a little cactus that we call it in Spanish nopales, a lot of cactus. And before they asked me why we don't use cactus, why we don't use nopales in our product. It is very good, it has a lot of properties, why we don't use it? And looking at the vitamins, well, I didn't see any. So I said, I don't know, I really don't know. So when I went to Petacali in Mexico and I saw we have acres and acres and acres of this cactus, I asked them, what do you use this for? And they said, oh, we send it to the Middle East, to chewable tablets like this big, because they don't have the diet that we have in this section of the countries, and they need it over there. So this is what we do, travel for different parts of the world to bring the balance they need. You will have a question.
You know how many formulations of double X that are made for all the different countries?
I do not know.
That'd be great to know.
I know some countries are very similar. For example, South America, Mexico, they have similar formulas. I know United States, ours is different. Japan also is different. When I came to working here, I got as a present a triple X that is called from Japan. Do you know that triple X is being called for Japan? That's instead of double X, that's the only country they call it triple X. Yeah. Because the Japanese did not want to understand why is the name that we have for double X. And they were saying, but it's 3 tablets. What do you mean you're going to call it double X? And you take it to 3 times a day. What do you mean you're going to call it double X? It's triple X. So they said, okay, fine, triple X, no problem. So I got a box of triple X. And after a period of time taking it, the triple X, I was having like allergic reactions in my body. So I was thinking it was a food. So I was, thinking, is this food that I ate, that food that I ate, this thing that I drink? Until I mentioned to one of the scientists, I don't know why, but I'm having this allergic reaction and I can figure it out what it is. So he asked me, what are you taking? So I told him about the new triple X. That's the only different thing that I did. And I said, you know what? Stop everything and just taking the vitamins, the yellow tablet, 3 days to see if something happened. Then take the bronze tablet, which is the phytonutrients, 3 days to see what happened. And then take the minerals. When I took the minerals for 3 days, that's when I had the allergic reaction. Well, somehow this formula has some kind of shrimp on it. And I'm allergic to that. So all the formulas are different. I don't know. Okay, please follow me.
Wow, that's interesting.
So everything started in Nutrilite when our founder, Rehnborg, went to live in China. When Rehnborg went to live in China, he was working for different companies. One of the companies he worked, it was for the milk carnation company. And over here he realizes how the cows that were eating alfalfa, they were producing more milk than the ones that were just eating regular grass. And I want you to know that the reason why the milk carnation company went to China is because they realized the Chinese people were having a spike like this. And they knew it had to do with the calcium they were not taking in the diet. So they decided to go to China with the milk carnation company to sell them milk to the Chinese people to fix the problem. And guess what? They didn't know the Chinese were lactose intolerant, so the project didn't work. But when Rehnborg was there, he was basically presenting the product to the people. And at the time, he noticed the cows that were eating alfalfa, they were producing more milk than the ones that were just eating regular grass. Then he also noticed the people that were living in the cities were more sick than the ones that were eating in the farms. The ones in the city, they were having a diet based on salts, sugars, processed food, meats, and fattings. And the ones in the city, the diet was based on plants and fruit and vegetables. So he knew nutrition had a lot to do with this. So he decided to do alfalfa concentrates for the Chinese people in 1921 to help with the the malnutrition. Then later on in 1926, the revolution takes place. Over here, they quarantine all the foreigners, they put them in a section in Shanghai, they give them sacks of rice once in a while. The people were getting sick and died from malnutrition. So Rehnborg decided that he was not going to be a victim of the situation, so I'm going to invite you to see, so you can see what he did. He gathered herbs everywhere he could, put them in the soup. He also had some vegetables, put them in the soup. He gathered some rostenales, the way you see it in the back, for iron. He grabbed some animal bones for calcium and wired them and put them in the soup. So he noticed his body was needing these nutrients. So he tried to share this particular soup, but the book said the taste of the soup was not good, and also they were thinking he was crazy because how could you put nails in the soup? But the small group, they understood what he was doing were the ones that got sick, because the reality is they were getting sick and died from malnutrition. So finally, Rehnborg comes back to the United States in 1927. You find him. He comes back to the United States in 1927 with $24 in his pocket. Basically, the communists takes everything away from him. So Rehnborg decided to study, and in 1933 he's explaining a graphic where he's mentioned in order for us to bring balance we need to have a variety of nutrition, and no one was talking about nutrition except Rehnborg in 1933. Over here he's given the foundation, because now the World Health Organization has realized that at least we need to have 5 servings of fruit and vegetables every day. Do you know what is the size of one food serving? It's the size of our palm, and with volume it comes to be our feast. So I'm going to ask you to remember how many feasts of fruit and vegetables you have yesterday. And they recommended that at least we need to have 5. Does any of you got 5 servings of fruit and vegetables yesterday?
Hold up, I gotta do this.
You did? Okay. They were all organic?
Not all organic.
Not organic.
Yeah, there were our vitamins.
No, they were.
Plants, fruit and vegetables only. Okay. So my question to you is, what do we need to do if we know we need to have balance and we're not doing the way we're supposed to? Take your supplements. I want you to know also the World Health Organization realized the people that were eating like this, if they are not eating everything organic, they're going to go into this section with a big gap of nutrition, because the pesticides affects the phytonutrients that we can find in these plants and fruit and vegetables. Rehnborg knew this. So in 1934, he opened his first vitamin, they call it vitamin products, here in California, and his first product is the Vita 6. Over here, he's a pioneer, creating a multivitamin and multi-mineral product, because at that time the only thing it was synthetic vitamin C. So he's creating a product that has vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that are gonna help us the balance that we need. Later on, Rehnborg found the word Nutrilite in a scientist magazine, and he changed the name of the company to Nutrilite in 1939, because he knows this product is a balance of nutrition. And he continued doing investigations to create more product, because he knows we need a balance in the different areas of our body. Also, our symbol of Nutrilite is the alfalfa leaf, that was the first ingredient that he used in China to help the people with the malnutrition. Okay, now we're gonna go a different part of the story. Over here, in 1949, J. Van Andel and Rich DeVos, excellent sellers of Nutrilite. They were very successful selling double eggs. They actually, our founder, Rehnborg, invented in 1948. And the reason why they call it double eggs is because it costs $20. So the eggs represent the Romaine number 10. Wow. That's the reason why they call it double eggs. So J. Van Andel and Rich DeVos, very successful. They went so well for them for 10 years. Please follow me. Coming to this side. Then in 1959, they opened their own company. They call it Amway, which means the American way. And they were very successful with the biodegradable soaps. Everything was very nice, very well for them. Nutrilite also wanted to go internationally, like them. And we thought that we can sell the product in Canada because we're neighbors, we speak the same language, we have a great relationship, but the Canadians told us no. You cannot sell your product in here because of vitamins that are manufactured with the highest manufacturing levels, which is the pharmaceutical levels. And you are processing your vitamins in a food chain, so you cannot do this in here. So in order for us to enter into Canada, we needed to change everything. We needed to create the laboratories that we went, quality assurance, to make sure that all our ingredients are free from bacteria, free from contaminants. We need to prove the amount of milligrams that we say we have in each one of them. And also we needed to create the laboratories with the equipment and also the scientists. So the investment was a little high. Also, imagine now, all the machines in production, that was a combination of metal and wood, and everything needed to be changed to stainless steel. So the investment was very high. At that time, Rehnborg was old, and he takes a decision to sell the shares of Nutrilite to Amway. So will be Amway to push his Nutrilite internationally. He wanted to go internationally, and he knew already Amway had an open market internationally. The only thing they needed to do, it was to present a new product. So this way his dream comes true. Unfortunately, he was unable to see it because he passed away the following year in 1973 at the age of 85. But we were able to enter in Canada in 1974, and Dr. Sam Rehnborg, his son, is the president of Nutrilite, and of course he doesn't look like this, he's now 83, but he's the one who's been representing the company. Please follow me. So these are some of the farms the Rehnborg used to work with. We have the one in San Fernando Valley here in Buena Park, used to be a farm. We have one in Hammett and also one in Lakeview. We don't have any of these farms anymore. They are closed in California, but we have the one in Rancho Petecal in Mexico, the one in Uvalle, Brazil, and the two of them in Trolley, Washington. So I'm going to let you see this video so you can see how we're working.
My passion is to see things blooming, you know. It's not only alfalfa or spinach or broccoli. I like to see the people blooming and growing and healthy. And this is something that has been very satisfactory here. I really couldn't tell why I'm so attached to this job. There is a very strong connection between the soil, the people that was born there, the people that love the farm, and when you put all that together and you do it organic, then you know that what you are doing now, it reflects on the whole world to our supplements. Bigger picture, and I like what I see in the bigger picture. Nutrilite with all these ingredients, working as a big family that takes care of everybody. We are looking all the time how to preserve freedom, family, hope, and reward. And you really see people in need of those values. They are just waiting for an opportunity to bloom. That is what the company is helping me to do in this remote location.
So this is how we are working with our process. We have two examples in here, the alfalfa and acerola cherry. I want you to know that we recycle our seeds, because we know in order for us to have the levels of phytonutrients that we're looking for, they need to be done with our organic process. As you saw in the video, we nurture the soil. We have to make sure that we have all the minerals and nutrients so we can have a healthy plantations. We also dehydrate the plant. Let's make believe that we take the alfalfa as an example. Imagine that we have all this alfalfa and now we're going to put it in a giant juicer. All this juice now we're going to put it in a center force. At the minute that the center force is rotating, all the water evaporates, but those drops of alfalfa, because they are more dense, they're going to go down into the center force. They're going to throw some cold air that is going to freeze them and turn it into powder. And this is the powder that we use to compress our tablets, which is the essence of nutrition in plants and fruit and vegetables that we call phytonutrients. It's very similar when you use a juicer. You know the juicer, and the juice is all the nutrients is not in the discard. We use the discard to put it in the ground to give us more nutrients for the following harvest. So as soon as we have our concentrates, we prepare our formulas to do our premixes and then finish with our product. But I want you to know, before we're going from one step to the next, first we need to pass quality control before we continue to the next step, so we can finish with a safe and effective product. So from the seed to the finished product, we need to pass quality control. And I want you to know that we have traceability, where we have a history with what's happening in every stage of the sections, so we know if something happened, where to refer to. So the history is important for us. Traceability is very important. Please follow me. Okay, so over here, remember this graphic that we saw in the labs? As you know, science is behind all this. Every horizontal line represents the reading of the machines that we saw that called chromatographies. And every peak, it represents the reading of the chromatography. Over here, we have a sample of ascorbic acid, which is synthetic vitamin C. If you notice, yeah, it has reached the levels, but before 10 minutes, the potency has been gone. Our scientists realize that when we use nature, besides that we have a big spectrum of benefit, we can see levels of phytonutrients because they notice with one simple acerola cherry in a green stage is equal in potency and for oranges and vitamin C. So look what happened when we use in nature. We have phytonutrients that even after 30 minutes we get in the benefit. I personally like this graphic because to me it represents why the product costs what it costs and why we don't have it in pharmacies. Because it will be working with something synthetic, yeah, we see it has the levels, but we don't see phytonutrients. In a synthetic level, it's easy, it's cheaper to do it, easy to obtain it, that do all the process in the farm to obtain the phytonutrients. So this is why we are different, because we have phytonutrients that even after 30 minutes, we're gonna see the benefit. And it's going to help us also to nurture our organs, to nurture our cells. Okay, and here we have a group of scientists where they are the ones who invented our vitamins. All of them are so successful into doing it. And everything they invented, it is being sent to universities and clinics for corroboration. These universities and clinics, they hire two groups of volunteers. One that is going to receive Nutrilite and the other one that is going to receive a placebo, a pill that has no value. And after a period of time, they're doing the testings and these people are taking the tablets, then they're going to have the results. Those results, they come publications. And these publications are the confirmation of our scientists. As soon as we have them, then we can present it to the government to protect the intellectual part of our scientists with the patents, and then we can share them with you. So I want you to know that somehow whatever our scientists invented is being proven. And you can ask me, so what is the chair doing here? Well, this chair, it was sent by Stanford University, recognizing Rehnborg as a professor of science and also recognizing him as the father of the prevention medicine. Rehnborg was unable to finish his career as a scientist. He only had one semester of college, but I'm talking about in World War II, when he was a dad, he was no longer important, it was his family, but that didn't stop him to continue doing research and investigation. So due to his knowledge, Stanford University continued doing investigations based on his knowledge, and Nutrilite and Amway, we are donating money for these investigations to continue, and we can always maintain ourselves on the top of with the best of nature, with the best of science. But more than anything, I want you to know that he's been recognized very well. Please follow me. Every time we have a new product, they said all the story that is going on with the products.
Yeah, but they have published like biological papers and did actual studies. Is there anywhere we can actually get those studies and read it for ourselves?
I don't know.
You mean the white
Because
papers that are done? The white papers that they do?
The actual studies that were published.
I know they have access on Nutrilite.com to all the white papers that have been submitted, but I would imagine the information.
Every time a research or investigation takes place, when a new product comes, they mention all that. But I'm not sure how transparent they are because we also have competition.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there are some things that are limited.
Yeah.
Okay, so over here we have 3 questions. And the first question is what supplementation? What do we need to take vitamins? Well, as we mentioned before, the World Health Organization is mentioned that at least we need to have between 5 to 9 servings of fruit and vegetables. And we mentioned the service is the size of a fist, right? The reality is that 75% of the population in the world, we are not acquired the amounts of fruit and vegetables that our body requires. So this will be the ideal amounts that we need to eat every day so we can have optimal health, because this way we can have the immunity that we require, the energy that we need to be able to do all the activities that we have, and this way we can obtain quality life. Well, let's make believe that after Nutrilite you ate like this, and tomorrow you're gonna eat like that, and Sunday like this, Monday like that, Tuesday you ate like this, Wednesday you were able to eat very good, but Thursday you didn't. This is our reality. We are not acquiring the amounts that our body needs, and we have a big gap of nutrition. Nutrilite is creating products that have vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients that are going to help us to give us the benefit that our body needs. And it's going to help us also to close the gap of nutrition that we don't have in our diet and we need it. So the next question is, why phytonutrients? Well, phytonutrients are powerful nutrients that we can find in these plants and fruit and vegetables. The word phyto comes from the Greek plant, and nutrients are the ingredients that we can find in these plants and fruit and vegetables. They are going to help us to give us benefit in the different areas of our body for a good health. So with a very simple examples, we're gonna see how these phytonutrients are gonna give us benefit. For example, the blue color or the purple color is going to give us benefit in our brain health, and also is gonna help our skin. Very good in antioxidants. The red color is going to give us benefit in our heart, in our circulatory system, and also men in prostate because it has lycopene. The orange and yellow color is going to give us benefit in our vision, very good, very rich in carotenes, and also is going to help us with metabolism. The white color is going to give us benefit in our articulations and also in our bones. Some of them, they have very good antioxidants, like garlic, for example. The green color is going to give us benefit in our cells. It's going to build an immune system to prevent diseases, and also some of them, they're very good in, like lutein, that's going to help us in our vision. Okay, so the next question is, why Nutrilite and why not another brand? Well, because we are established since 1934. Rehnborg is the founder of Nutrilite, who has created products that have phytonutrients that are going to help us to give us benefit in the different areas of our body. We are leaders in science since 1934. I'm very proud to tell you that we are celebrating 83 years of anniversary, where we continue being in the leadership of investigation. Nutrilite is the #1 vitamin company in minerals who grows, harvests, and process. This is Rancho Petacal in Mexico. Our farms are certified organic every year, and we are exclusive of our own seeds because we know in order for us to achieve the levels of phytonutrients that we need to it needs to be done with an organic process so we can create products that have phytonutrients that can give us benefit in the different areas of our body. I would love to take you to Rancho Petacal in Mexico right now.
We'll go. We're ready.
Okay.
When are we going?
Our Nutrilite products are trusted and safe because of the process that I mentioned to you, and they're going to help us to close this gap of nutrition that we don't have in our diet if we need it. It's also going to help us to be a healthy, happier people because we're going to be able to have the immunity that we require, the energy that we need, in every stage of our life. In other words, have a quality life. So Nutrilite is the #1 selling product of vitamins and nutrients in the world. Do you have any questions? Okay, so very quickly, I just want us to go through here because we are kind of late in timing. But I just want you to see this. Very fast.
Oh, okay. It'll be after this is over.
5, right? And we say it's a piece, the size. But we also realize the different colors give us benefit in the different areas of our body. So the size, the amount, and also the quality, the variety and the quality are the ones that are going to help us. Because if we obtain everything organic, we don't need to put our body to detox the pesticides they put in these plants and for the vegetables. Yes.
Can we have that in English, please?
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, my love, I'm so sorry. So used to, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So, quick question. What was the color, the most predominant color that you ate yesterday? Green. Okay. How about you over here? Green too. Okay. How about you? Green. Okay.
Purple.
Purple. Okay.
Red.
Red. Okay.
Probably green.
Green. Okay. Over there in the back. You. Yeah, plants, fruit, and vegetables. Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay. How about you, ma'am?
Probably red.
Red. Okay. Okay. Anybody had white?
I had some white in mine.
Okay.
I had yellow.
How about yellow?
I had some spaghetti squash.
No.
Yellow, right.
Plants, fruit, and vegetables. Oh, squash. Okay.
Squash, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yes.
spaghetti.
We take those
As
of us.
you see, in a group, we barely make it. So it is important in order for us to achieve optimal health that we need to have a good nutrition. Not as much vitamin T the way we say in the Spanish community. No more tacos, tostadas, tamales. So no vitamin T. That's a vitamin G.
Vitamin C, for sure.
So we have to have more plants and fruit and vegetables in order for us to achieve optimal health. Okay, now raise your hand who have your spoon of zinc that is a mineral this morning.
Spoon of what?
Zinc.
Just, no? Nobody? No. Your spoon of zinc.
No,
Huh? No?
not of a spoon.
Me neither. Okay, please, ma'am. Okay, so it is being proven, it is being already tested, it is being rectified. Besides the plants and fruit and vegetables with the phytonutrients that we need in our body, we also need our minerals. Minerals are going to help us with our cognition, they're going to help us with our mobility, and they're going to help us with metabolism. And none of us take spoons of minerals at all. And yes, we can find some minerals in plants and fruit and vegetables, but the levels that our body needs, we need to obtain it directly. So where we can find these minerals in our multivitamins, in our double X, and the children's daily chewables, you know they changed the name, and also in the daily. So Nutrilite is basically giving us all that we need, and it's combining the best of nature with the best of science, but the best of you. And it has a big variety of products that are going to help us to bring the balance their body needs. Also, activity is important. Here in California, we're very, very pampered because for everything we use a car. To go to the store, we use the car. To go to the school for the children, we use the car. To see our neighbors, we use the car. So the reality it is that we need to do exercise. We need to be active in order for us to achieve optimal health. And also, rejuvenation is important. We need to have mental, emotional, and spiritual balance because if we're not in balance, it shows. So we need to be happy with our children, with our family members, with our clients. So it is important that we find this balance. How maybe meditation, maybe reading a positive something, or maybe sleeping. Because you can be in the phone with an IV to 3 o'clock in the morning and you continue from there and you didn't go to sleep. So sleeping is also important. So in order for us to obtain the best of you, well, we need to have a good nutrition, good supplementation, doing exercise, positive thinking and rest in order for us to achieve the balance that our body needs. So I'm gonna ask you to, all of you, go behind the letters. I'm gonna take a picture and then you, so one telephone, and then you guys pass it to everybody.
Ian.
No, I haven't seen it.
We have.
I know they were pulling 22-foot catheters. We sit on the lake also.
Okay. If you want, we can upstairs some of the pictures with her when used to live in China. These are some of his life experiences when he was a baby and he was living in China. No, he was already an adult and he was a dad and he was living in China. He was in 1909 doing a study of college. He had 1 semester of college and his dad was a jeweler and he wanted to come Rehnborg to follow his steps as a jeweler, but like any son, he didn't want to and he went to China. What an adventure, in 1909. So he was doing investigations and research and developed one of the things that admired him. It was how Chinese people, they were using teas to get better. So he learned Chinese to find out from the Chinese herbalists those benefits of these plants and he was very interested about it. So that's how everything started in China. Okay, so as I mentioned to you, we have some farms here in California. When he came back from China, he decided to purchase this farm in 1942 in San Fernando Valley. Then later on, he acquired this location here in Buena Park in 1946, where it was this Kwanzaa hut that is behind you. Later on, as population got closer,
That was a home or?
yeah, that was the home. Remember the display that we saw at the beginning in quality assurance? This was downstairs, of course, but that's the original house, except they fixed it from outside because it was deteriorated, but they fixed it from outside to protect it.
Wow.
So that Kwanzaa hut was downstairs. It was here in 1946. As population got closer, he decided to take another farm in Cabot in 1951, and he took the house to Cabot. Then later on, as also contamination got into this location, he went to purchase Lakeview in 1954, and he took the house to Lakeview. I want you to know that our farm on Lakeview was a very important farm of investigation. A lot of vitamins that we're enjoying right now are based on the research and investigations that were done in Lakeview. But due to contamination, the scientists couldn't work anymore and they had to close it 3 years ago. So they closed it and they brought back again the original house that Rehnborg used to live in here. When Rehnborg acquired this location, we got it with a vision that he could live in here. He could do investigation, production, and research of the vitamins, and also harvesting. because I want you to know that this was empty. There was no houses. It was empty. So with those ideas, he came to purchase this farm. So now we're gonna go inside. I want you to know that we treat it as museum, so I'm gonna ask you to please do not touch anything because everything in here is original or is irreplaceable. So help us to maintain it. Yes.
The picture frames, are they from some part of the farm?
Yes, from Lakeview Farm. Yes. Yes. Okay, please follow. That was a great observation you have. Thank you.
Oh, look how big that mailbox was.
These flowers, I'm not sure they were the original ones in here, but one particular thing about these flowers is that when it is dry, I mean it is cloudy like right now, they kind of like close, like as you see the ones in the corner, kind of close, and then when the sun comes out, they open up. It's very similar to the yellow ones over there. I don't know, they're very smart.
Desert roses? Desert rose?
The desert rose are in that side. Those little, they look like cactus.
Okay. When they initially bloom, it's like a rosebud.
Right, in the shape of a rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're different.
So those ice plants?
So over here we have a picture of Rehnborg. He was very proud of his mailbox as a business. We don't have anybody else on there, right? This is the whole group? Okay. Okay, please follow.
So many. Inside.
Got the door here.
Thank you.
This is where Rehnborg used to live. Over here we have the pictures of Rehnborg and his wife Edith. Edith used to like... Okay.
Uh-oh, you gotta go in backwards.
The wheelchair has, wait, no. The wheelchair has this. And you just push it and it will come up.
No, this is his house.
Oh, backwards. That is really cool. Maybe if you want to do it backwards. Maybe backwards. Yeah.
It's only taken 30 of us to figure this out.
Every day, child.
Thank you. And tour's over.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So as you see, we have, maybe everybody can come in here. What do you think?
We'll come in.
Okay.
Wait.
Rhonda,
So is it now?
she'll take over.
Steel building? Is it a steel building always?
No, it's protected. This basically was one of those houses that transplanted houses.
Yeah, like a mobile home kind of thing.
Yes. Okay, so as you see, we have the pictures of Rehnborg and his wife Edith. Edith asked Carl that he wanted to have cosmetics that were with natural ingredients, and Carl invented them. And they would call it after her, Edith Rehnborg Cosmetics. When Amway purchased a share of Nutrilite, they changed the name of Artistry. But many of the formulas were of Edith Rehnborg Cosmetics. They were based on Edith Rehnborg Cosmetics. Okay, so Edith used to like the decorations of strawberries. That was the feminine touch of the house. Rehnborg used to like photography and also reading. If you want to come a little forward. So if people can hear, thank you. Also, he liked reading. He was an excellent reader. They used to sleep in here. This couch used to become a bed at night, and during the day it was the living room. This refrigerator is from 1940s, which it was not electric. They need to use those stones to bring chunks of ice to chop it and put it in the refrigerator. So this is how they maintain the food.
We used it. It's called an ice box.
Right.
And over here, we have a small bathroom. And in this section, that's what Rehnborg used to do the investigation.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No.
Wonder if that had been a skylight.
Could have been, but there's the under the bed.
Mm-hmm. Rug duster. Wow.
Okay, so we're all in, right? I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Okay, so I want you to know that when Rehnborg was harvesting, one of the great things that he did, he was having invention. The sets were already in existence. What was not in existence, it was the net. He noticed if we harvest anything, and this will go into the ground, this will have contamination. So created this net to protect the product from contamination. Then he will put it in this manual grinder to make it smaller. Then he found these filler cans where he put those exits, and then he put a net similar to this one on the middle to squeeze the fiber and separate the water from the plant with the concentrate of the plant from the fiber. So this was his use structure. Then later on, he obtained this stiller. This stiller is for 1940s, which it was prohibited at the time because you remember the dry law with the alcohol?
Mm-hmm.
This was also able to do alcohol. So Rehnborg had to explain to the government that he needed this machine to separate the water from the plant concentrate. So this is the permit that the government gave him that cost him $22 in order for him to be able to use this machine. Yes. So as soon as the water will evaporate, the concentrate will come down in the bottom and he will put it in cookie trays to dry. In a third room that we did not bring it because of the size and also the deterioration. So it was a third room where he will dry all the material and then he will put it in this Rehnborg blender where he will add vitamins and minerals and then production will coming out like this, powder. He sent to be made this brass plate where it has 100 holes. And then he will obtain from the pharmacy capsules, put them in the holes. Then he will add the concentrates and then distribute it from the different capsules. Bring down the brass plate and seal it. Could you imagine? One by one.
Wow.
Isn't it like us? We're doing this one client one by one, right? One by one. Okay, so then he will weigh them in here and then put them in this bucket so he can package them in here. This was the original packaging. This was the original packaging. I'm gonna wait for the lady to just finish her picture because the rest of the group can see. Come with me, no, come with me here. The two of you.
Over there, buddy.
And you too, come with me. You.
Okay.
And here, because the rest of the group can see. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so over here was the packaging location where he sent to make 31 holes, which it was the amount of 1 month, so it can go into the bottles. These were the original bottles. They were green to protect the vitamins from the light. As you know, Rehnborg was not a scientist with profession. He was due to practice, but all his knowledge became out of the books that you see in here. Basically, nothing stopped him. He knew what he needed to do in order for have the vitamins with all the nutrients they were required. So over here, he would package the capsules, over here the tablets, and that picture is also original from the time when he was one of the first people who gave jobs to women. At that time, women would not work. They were at home, but many of them were widows from World War II. So he had compassion of this situation, and him and Edith, his wife, created a job to these women to be able to help them to grow, but the children helped. Okay, so do you remember the graphics with those colors, right? Yeah. Okay, so this was the emission spectrograph With Rehnborg, we used to measure in here the different levels of phytonutrients and nutrients of the levels of measure the nutrients of the vitamins. This machine is from 1950s. It cost him $30,000. Right now, our chromatographers, they look like computers, and the value is $100,000. But I want you to see that in here there is no luxury. Everything is very simple, very modest, but his investment was basically on the company because he needed to, his passion was to helping people. That's what he motivated him. So, because if you notice, making $30,000 after World War II, it was harder than making $100,000. So he really, really sacrificed a lot in order for maintain the company going. So over here behind you, we have some pictures of Rehnborg doing investigation, research, and some of the original instruments that he used for the vitamins. And in that corner where you are, in here, I'm sorry. In here we have the vitamins for children that were born in 1950s. All the IVOs were so excited that we have the vitamins for children that purchased everything. All the production was taken from them. And then little by little, they start returning them. So when I try to investigate why, they say, well, the children didn't like it. Because these were some cookies. Imagine some Oreos. Instead of having cream inside, they were having vitamins and minerals and plants. And they didn't taste that good. So they said, okay, well, too bad. Let's just open them all and give it to the animals. Guess what? The animals didn't even try them. So they decided to smash them all and just put them as fertilizer. So I want you to know that not everything was easy. It's like life. Not everything is easy, right? Okay, so over here we have this scientist magazine where Rehnborg found the word Nutrilite. And he decided to change the name of the company in 1939 because he knows his product, it was a balance of nutrition. So he decided to change the name of the company. So now we're going to do a small resume why Nutrilite is different. I'm going to locate myself in this corner so I won't cover it, right? Okay, so the first step is that we need to have seeds, right? From harvest, we need to do two things. One, we need to separate the fiber. We need to separate the water from the plant, and we need to keep the concentrate. Now, this wonderful concentrate, we need to dry it. So, we can prepare our different formulas and finish with our product. This is why Nutrilite is different, because we're doing this extraction, this concentrate of these plants and fruit and vegetables that we call phytonutrients. This is going to help us to give us benefit in different organs and also nutrient our cells. So that's why Nutrilite is different. We cannot say it cures. We can say it makes miracles. How many testimonies do you have here? Right. So that's the reason why. God knew we needed nature, and He gave it to us wonderful. We are the ones who make it our life difficult because it's easy to open a can of orange juice that you're making your 20 oranges by hand, and you're just gonna get a little bit, right? So we are the ones who are making our life difficult. And over here we have this blueprint of a boat. Where Rehnborg would like to go into the ocean, as the way you see it in this picture. He knew the ocean had a lot of benefits, but he was unable to do this project because when he was financially able to do it, he was already too old. So he was unable to accomplish. But now we're working with this company that is called Ocean Essentials. Ocean Essentials are working with companies. They are, Ocean Essentials are working with countries that are maintaining the beauty of nature, maintaining the healthy of nature in the ocean, and they not allow traffic of boats in some areas to maintain that beauty in the ocean. So this is where we get all the stuff from Ocean Essentials. And over here we have some of the original instruments that Rehnborg used to use at the time. As you see, his telephone didn't have Facebook, Twitter, or WhatsApp, but that was the most important, that was the most advanced technology at the time. I strongly believe they got inspired to this phone to make the cell phone. Okay, so do you have any questions for me? Okay, let's go. Very, very good. Thanks.
Thank you. They're here, they're downstairs somewhere.
I believe
Early fall.
maybe
I never knew they were this beautiful.
I was thinking that maybe by summertime, but probably you're right. Maybe the fall.
Sorry.
I guess they're not hardy.
Now there's a tractor for you. Look at this. Never in my life.
We get the like for example, okay, one thing that I have a question here very important. One thing that we do here to make sure that everything is coming from Motion Essentials is we have to make sure the stuff that we receive in from Motion Essentials doesn't have mercury, doesn't have any lead, any metals, or anything that is not the beauty or the product that we require.
And what about the brain health? Is the Wellsona, is it the same thing?
That's a different company.
So,
But I would not be a surprise. The Amway is very strict on what they receive because I've been mentioned before, we are not invested in publicity. We're invested in quality, and I don't care where we are in the world. Something that Amway it is being known by it is for the quality, because some people may see it expensive, some people may do not, but one thing that we are well known for, it is quality. And in the Nutrilite, it's from the seed to the finished product. We have traceability and everything, and we have the control. And we do have the farms. There are companies they say they do it, but they don't.
no, they don't.
And if they do, are they organic? Are they following our process? It's not safe. But this is the part that I'm gonna mention to you.
Can we sit on the tractor for a picture?
You can sit on the tractor for a picture.
There you go. There you
You're
go.
not gonna fall from it, please.
I've had my picture on the tractor, but I want you all to have
we
your
need
picture on
Jerry's
the
We will.
picture on the
I'll get it before we leave. Here.
Both of you get over there. I'll hold it.
Lavender, they give us nice smells, and also the medical ones. So
Wait.
there are several plants
like it.
that are classified as medical because of the great benefits they do in our body. So we're gonna talk about those in a few minutes. Radiola is a combination of different plants. No, radiola.
Or is that Schaefer?
It's like,
Memory builder.
oh, this one.
Yes.
Yes.
It could be special.
It gives a beautiful chair.
They talk about it somewhere where it comes from.
The particular genus of rhodiola that they use is the only one that's really effective for what it's sold for. You can get rhodiola supplements in different. You go to a grocery gas station, but it's not the same particular genus that we use.
Well, it has to be aptogenic, and so that means it's from a harsh
Yes,
climate.
yes,
Right.
yes.
It's cold as, I know they grow in Siberia.
Okay, we're gonna continue with a tour. How many more pictures do we need to go through?
Oh my gosh.
It's all right. It's all right, Gene. I got you, baby. I got you. Look, they make great eating when they're real, and it's plastic.
Well, I'm going to walk right on by.
So
There you go.
this is one of the medical Okay. Okay. So one of the medical ones, it is echinacea. Echinacea we're growing in our 2 farms in Trout Lake. We have one on the west side with 401 acres of land, and we have another one in the east side with 866 acres of land. Echinacea, it helps us to build an immunity. Blueberries, we are using it for different things. We're using it for cognition, for a vision, and also for a skin. Dandelion, we're using it for the protection of liver, and valerian, we use it to relax us. So those are classified as medical ones.
What does dandelion do?
Protection for the liver. Liver protection. When I went to the farm, I want you to know that what you see here, it is true. Because the plants were the size of my face and my neck.
Wow.
With some big stems. They were so strong, very well nutrited. So this is real. Many of you are taking double eggs. Some of the ingredients of double eggs are spinach, oregano, and alfalfa that we're growing in this farm. Peppermint, we use it for the vitamin, for the garlic, so it could be more soothing to our stomach and not smell as strong. And the needle root is being used for the protection of the prostate. So these are our 2 herbalist biggest farms that we have in the north of the United States. And one of the great things that we have in this farm is that we're using the water that is coming from the mountain, from Mount Adams. They're called glaciers. The glaciation from this is the water that's the most pure water. They call it water A because it's the most pure water that we have. So one of the great things that happen in this location is that our neighbors are also organic farmers. So it is like being in heaven, basically, because this is amazing. Everything is very holistic, very well caring for nature. So this is an awesome location that we're located in here. And also we have the one right here in Mexico with 1,589 acres of land, where we also growing some ingredients from double eggs, spinach, alfalfa, kale, broccoli, watergrass, and parsley. Does any of you are taking turmeric?
Taking what?
Turmeric. Anyone taking turmeric? Okay. Okay, turmeric is a combination from artistry and Nutrilite, where a scientist, it took them 15 years to determine what ingredients are going to help us to rebuild our own collagen. And one of the ingredients from turmeric is grapefruit, that is going to help us to have a healthy and more elastic skin, so we can prevent wrinkles. When I went to Petacat, I asked them, what do you do with the control of all the animals? Because they have snakes, they have tarantulas, they have spiders, they have scorpions, they have big animals. The situation is very different in there. So I asked them, what do you do with the control of all these animals? And they said, oh, it's very simple. We prepare the acre where we're gonna harvest. We mix pepper with garlic and cinnamon. We spray it into this location. Animals don't like it. They go to the other side. We just cut it, clean it, and that's it. But to me, it wasn't very clear. Because who wants to have a snake in the house? Let's just get rid of it. We have the capacity. Why not? So they said, oh no, we need it. Because the plants they feel when these animals are around them. So what they do is they throw some smells so they will not be bothered by these animals. But also they bring the levels of phytonutrients high. And who knew about this? It was Rehnborg. We are continue doing his process. It's a process of patience and nature, because you need to know what insect is going to eat the other insects. So we're following his steps. It is a expression of love, and we're controlling nature with the same nature. This is our other farm that we have in Brazil with 3,136 acres of land, where we're growing several fruits because it's more tropical. Like for example, pineapple, they give us help in our digestions. Acerola cherry, we have it in several products, but mainly in our vitamin C. Initially, we found acerola cherry in Hawaii and then in Puerto Rico. We own a farm in Puerto Rico, and guess what happened? The hurricanes destroyed several times, and we didn't have vitamin C. So they decided to take it to the farm in Mexico. Because it wasn't that tropical, it wasn't growing with the levels of phytonutrient that we were looking for. So they decided to take it to Brazil. And in Brazil it's growing wonderful, because our scientists said that one simple acerola cherry in a green stage is equal in potency in 4 oranges and vitamin C. So when they ask you where is your vitamin C coming from the acerola cherry that we're growing in our farm in Brazil. And over here we have some of the minerals and nutrients that we're growing, that we're using in our farm, because we're going to mention that everything that we cut after we have done those extractions, we reuse it to make levels of compost where we add vitamins and nutrients and help us for this big part of the fertilizers. Because we found the soil like this in Mexico, and we found it in Lakeview like that. We cannot harvest in that. We need to have a healthy soil. Another thing that we do is some testings with the different levels of the soil to make sure that we have all the nutrients and bring the balance into the farm. Because I want you to know that every year we have these institutions that come to check us. They are part of the governments and the different countries that we are, and they are the ones who give us the organic certification. So we need to pass these testings. We make sure the balance in the farm, it is there. Another thing that we do is that we rotate the production, because instead of harvesting here alfalfa, for example, the following time we put maybe broccoli, because we don't want to deplete the nutrients that exist in the soil. So then after we have done this, and we have a GPS tractors where we can order the GPS tractor to harvesting here, let's say alfalfa, and the next time we want to go here to make a straight line to put broccoli. So this way we maintaining the farm in a healthy way. And as you know, we have traceability, and we take care of the situation, and also we rest the farm, the portion of the land that it was harvested already 2 times for a whole year. We nutri it for a whole year. We let it rest to be able to harvest again. I want you to please observe that picture with some roots. Okay. One of the things that we do is that we are working with worms. You can come this way now. We have some worms. They help us to make tunnels underneath the soil, and these worms know that we bother them, and they go very deep into it. Yes. Oh, here's one I see.
Oh, he might get in.
No. There is one here, somewhere here.
Yeah, there he is.
Okay, so these worms, they make tunnels underneath the soil, and they help us to, when we put the water or the minerals, to help us to nutrient the roots, so we can bring the plants to the levels of phytonutrients that we're looking for. So these worms, they're working for us for free all year.
Nice. You're not paying them yet.
No, we're not paying them. When I went to Petacala, we have several beds like bigger than this, where we growing worms, and they feed them with plants, organic plants, and all the discard is coming from them. It is being collected to be part of the fertilizer. So it's a very recyclable system, and we're controlling nature with the same nature. Another thing that we have done is that we are working with insects. These are negative insects. These are herbivores. These can eat our farm. We don't like this. And we working with carnivore insects. These insects, they eat the other insects that help us to protect the plantations. One of them is the ladybugs. They help us to protect the plagues against the plagues. And like I mentioned, we've been controlling nature with the same nature, because we're working with the snakes, with bats and owls. They help us to control the rodents, because rodents, they like to eat our fruit, they like to eat our vegetables, they are carnivores, they're not interested in to destroy our farm. Also, we put different machines like this one in different locations of the farm. They create noise and animals are bothered by it and they don't get closer. Another thing that we do is that we put CD disc in the different locations, so with the sun rays, the animals don't get closer, they go away. When I went to Troll Lake Farm, I found out that we have a neighbor who it is training the falcons, and the falcons have been trained that our farm is their territory, so they would not allow another birds either to contaminate or to destroy our production. So this way we maintain nature with the same nature. We see the farm as a whole context. They need to have balance, from the microorganisms that we have in the floor to the people who work in there. For example, when we entered into Petacan, Mexico, they realized there was no electricity, there was no running water. They provide these things for the community, and also they realized people didn't know how to read and write, and now their children are becoming agriculture engineers. So this is how we see the farm. Like a whole context that needs to have balance. And in 2005, we start neutral certifying all the farmers to get production from there. So when here in the United States it's winter, when another part of the world is summer, and we can obtain whatever we need in the time we need it. So this way, us as a company, we maintain our own balance. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, please follow me. We're gonna go to the other side. Oh, somebody asked me about the roses, the desert roses. Here they are. Here they are. We have many of them. And we have some more in here. More roses.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we need to go downstairs to the second floor. If you need the elevator, we're gonna come into this side. If not, we're gonna go downstairs. We're gonna go downstairs, and if you need the elevator, we're gonna go. Okay, so I want you to know that right now, right now we are in research and development building. This is where our scientists, they create new products or they invent, they're better the ones we have. So we're gonna go towards the end. If you can please go ahead. Continue. Oh, thank you so much. Sure, thank you, appreciate it. Many of the machines that you're going to see here are small, and a small scale. They do production here in a small scale before we run it into big production. So we're going to go to this side. This is right. Did you see it? Wow.
Yes, don't you love that?
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Who's the diamond?
Way up.
The diamond from Dominicana. Rocky Diaz, Pablo Tabara, Galindo Martinez. There's not very many of them. Galindo?
Oh, take pictures of these. Well, I got it.
Great.
You could do that with mason jars. You should do that with mason jars.
Okay. So we're gonna see the structure section. Do you remember the machine that Rehnborg had to pay $22 in order for him to be able to extract the machine? Okay, so this is where scientists do those separation. they separate the water from the plant concentrate. So this is where that happens, the extraction. But also, they are using alcohol because many plants and fruit and vegetables, they have their own oil, the natural oils. So we don't, the only way to separate it is with alcohol. And that's what they use it here. And over here we have a small granulator where scientists make sure the particles are gonna be in the correct size. We don't want to happen what it happens in the cereal boxes. There was some ingredients that didn't integrate. We don't want that. We want all the particles to be in the correct size so they can integrate better. So granulation is what they do here. And like I mentioned before, they doing this in a small scale before we run into big production. And over here we have some of the patents. Some of them, there are presentations, and other ones are formulas, and other ones are machines. We have in Nutrilite 200 patents, and in Amway we have 1,100. But we have 700 patents pending because the government, it takes 5 years to give us the certification. So if you ever see a product that it says patent pending, it's because we already protect the intellectual software scientists. We can share it with you, but we're waiting for the certificate. The government is going to take 5 years to give it to us. And behind you, this is where scientists, they do investigations for the capsules, the soft gels, like omegas, for example. Over here we have the dryers. I want you to know that it takes between 26 to 34 hours. I'm sorry, 24 to 36 hours to dry. The omega-3, for example, when it comes out big, and as it dries, it's getting smaller and smaller. So it's a long patient of, patient and love for a capsules to be ready. And over here, our scientists, they do investigations. They weigh the materials, like similar when we do our formulas for when we're cooking something that we know how much we need for each ingredient. Same thing with the formulas. And in production, we have scales that receive like tons of material. So this is in a small scale. I'm gonna let you see this video. And could you help me to just locate yourself in a way that everybody can see? This is about the chromatography.
They work Monday through Thursday, 10-hour days, that's why we're not seeing them.
Exactly, yes.
Chromatography is a technology that enables you to separate components from a complex mixture. Plants are very complex, and chromatography helps us to separate their phytochemicals or phytonutrients. As a phytochemist, one of my jobs is to ensure that the botanicals of the plants we choose to put in our products live up to the quality that we claim. The plant materials are in the forms of liquids. They don't come as we know them in the supermarkets. So what we do is we analyze them, we test them to make sure they are belonging to the same source as we are going to claim. I am who I am based on my DNA fingerprint. Today what we are trying to do is ensure that this is really citrus extract. Like DNA fingerprint for me, the phytochemical fingerprint for citrus is its own signature. We test them by a technology called phytochemical fingerprint. Over time, plants change in their constituents when grown under different conditions, when harvested at different conditions, when extracted at different conditions. People like us ensure that you are using the plant for its benefit and you want to keep the quality consistent right from the fresh stage of the plant to the process stage. My name is Amit Chandra and I'm a scientist for Rehnborg.
Okay, I am going to show you how we can make a vitamin. But I am going to need a volunteer. Who would like to help me?
Somebody else or you me?
Whatever you want, it's up to you to do it.
This is so gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
What do I do?
Okay, do you have experience making vitamins?
No.
No? Okay, no worries. All right. So we are going to work with some minerals, because if we were working with grape or apple concentrates, we will have like the natural sugars, and we can make a big mass into this original compressor that was Rehnborg. So let's make believe that this is what Rehnborg suggested in order for us to make our vitamin. Would you like to mix this?
Sure. Don't some people do the opposite of this nowadays and grind it up to put it in there?
Then the next step will be joining our moldings. We have a seed like vitamin C, and we're gonna join.
Is that good enough?
Yeah. So now we're gonna pour it in here. Very good. Great job. And you said you didn't have experience. You're hired. Okay. And then we have the last section of the molding that has an end like Nutrilite. So we're gonna put it in here.
It's like making a bullet.
Okay. You see?
There you go.
Somehow.
It is. It's a health bullet.
Rotate it right towards us so we can go inside, because we cannot go in.
I just had carpal tunnel. Maybe I shouldn't have volunteered.
Now into the side, to the other side, the opposite side. Very good. Okay, so now can you please go to the front?
Oh, goody. Good leverage.
So this is a factorial system. You want to go up and down until the needle reaches between 10 to 15.
Set pounds.
That's about it.
Okay, so bring it down all the way down. No, it's fine. All the way down. Okay, just pull it up. Now remove the pressure from the machine that way. Okay, so now towards me. Okay, very good. So we have our tablet. We have a vitamin. But guess what? It's trapped. So Rehnborg invented this circle to release it, and we had to do the process again. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, so towards me again. Towards us. Very good. So now to the other side. Okay, so now could you just please go to the other side and put your hand in here?
Right here?
Right there. So this is how he used to do it.
Wow.
So when somebody asks you, how do you glue the powders? Compression.
Hold your hand out.
1 to 8 tons of pressure with the compression of the tablets.
Wow.
But I want you to remember this moment, because when you say, oh, I had to go give the plan. Oh, somebody told me no. Oh, this is difficult. Oh, today is cold. I want you to remember this moment. Rehnborg made them one by one, and he didn't give up. So look how big a pie we create. So let's give her a big hand. Thank you. You can continue passing them. If you want to touch it, the texture, we still have to give the coating. You can take it home as an example that you did it, but I'm gonna ask you, please do not take this vitamin, because everybody's touching it. Our product, it has warranty. I'm not making myself responsible. Okay, so this is our prototype lab.
Thank you, baby.
They do investigations in here, and they do research. One of the things that happen here is they create the new vitamins. And you see the machine that is inside that square in the middle of the room. That machine is a calibrator of compression. They determine how much compression they're going to give the new products, so they won't break and they don't have pores. So this way, when they send them to make in production, they know how they need to be treated. So this is where they determine how much compression they're going to give to them. And over here we have this blending machine, very similar to what we did, except that this machine for the V shape is like, well, the way it works is in a rotation movement. But from inside, imagine these waves, they integrate each other, and we're doing our blending in an integration. We're not doing it in a blending way because we don't want to create heat. We want to do things in an integration to maintain the levels of phytonutrients that we find in nature initially. So our machine in production, it is too big. It needs to be fitted from the second floor. It takes like between 15 to 20 or half an hour minutes and do all this integration. So as soon as we have all these powders, all these ingredients integrated, then we pass it to this compressor. This compressor is called Rehnborg. It is German. This is the newest technology that we have. We have 6 of those machines in production. This one has the capacity to make 3,400 tablets per minute. We don't have to make one by one, now we can make more. But this machine also has a computer system when you can order the machine, the size, the weight, the shape, how smooth you need them, and the machine is making them perfect. Like I mentioned to you, we have 6 of those in production. The value is $1 million, and we have 2 in investigation. This one is way more smaller, but this has the capacity to have a bilayer vitamin. As you know, we are the first vitamin company that has a bilayer product, and it's our vitamin B. Do you remember how many vitamins B we used to take before with the old formula? 3 a day, right? Mm-hmm. To have the energy for the whole day. Well, now with the scientists working with this most advanced technology, they realize what's happening inside our body. Before we didn't have those kind of machines that you could see what's happening inside the body. Now we do. So they realized that we have transporters exclusive for vitamin B. So with the old formula, the transporters will receive the vitamin B, they will pass it to absorption, but whatever it wasn't received, collected from the transporters, it was being discarded. So now with the new formula of 8 vitamin Bs, 2 of them, they dissolve immediately with the exact amount of transporters that we have in our body, so it can be passed to absorption, and the transporters could be ready to receive the next portion, and this way we can obtain the amount of energy that we need for 8 hours. So I want you to realize 3 things. 1, our scientists, they are always looking into the best things, how we can obtain the best products. 2nd, we are working with the most advanced technology. And 3rd, we don't have to take 3, we just only have to take 1 vitamin B. Okay? And over here, where scientists, they do investigations of packaging. Over here, they throw the capsule, they throw the bottles, they throw the boxes, they determine how much cotton we need in the product, so in transportation it won't break. Also, they make sure that all the production is going with an air vacuum. This is one of the reasons why the XX is being wrinkled, because of the air vacuum. But also, this is the answer why we don't need any preservatives, because all production, it has no air. Another thing that we do here is the Summit, they put all the production in high amount of heat, cold, and humidity to determine, to help the transportation, but also to help and determine expiration date. They determine expiration date when one ingredient loses the potency. As soon as that happens, they need to go 3 months before to put expiration date. So we have expiration date, we still have 3 months before one ingredient loses the potency. After the 3 months, I don't recommend that you take them, because they're not gonna do anything in your body. Imagine like you having all fruit in the refrigerator, and what happened? It's gonna get old, it's not gonna have the nutrients, you're not gonna eat it. It's the same thing. So it's better that you smash them, put them in the flour so they can grow beautiful, but you obtain something that is gonna really work in your body. Do you have any questions?
Mm-mm.
Okay, please follow me.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Okay, remember I mentioned to you that we closed the Lakeview farm. There was a very important farm of research. Well, as soon as we closed it, we gathered 180 acres of land in Lakeview, in Wuxi in China, where we have 30,731 square feet of greenhouse, where we are doing investigation on more than 100 plants, fruit and vegetables. And one of the ingredients that was investigated into this farm is the spirulina, which is the new ingredient that we have in the new vitamin B. So many of the things that are being doing for the new vitamins are coming from this research they're doing over there in Wuxi, because it is well known that China, it is the oldest culture they have knowledge with nature. So our scientists went specifically to the university in China, because in China they have a specific career for knowing about the benefits of plants and fruit and vegetables. So this way we can maintain ourselves with the base of nature, with the base of science. Do you have any questions? Yes.
TCM? See, better post TCM plants.
Testings? I'm not sure the CM. But I know we have more than 100
Traditional Chinese medicine?
Yes.
Traditional Chinese medicine plants grown, yes.
That's right, thank you.
Yeah. I have a question
from you, yes.
about the B complex. I actually take 2 a day, one in the morning and one at breakfast, because what I do for a living is lawn maintenance. I'm working 10, 12 hours a day. But am I actually just kind of wasting one tablet a day, or should I just, do you have a recommendation for just take one a day?
Well, I still have my oil vitamins from vitamin B. So I take one in the morning, and I take our new formula at my lunchtime.
Yeah.
And I notice that I continue having energy until I get home, and I have
Well,
a
that's
20-year-old.
me too.
Yeah. So you have to be on the go. But I'm not sure with the new formula if you should wait that long. And I don't want to say wait 8 hours and then take the other ones, because what about if you don't go to sleep?
Yeah, well, I know it's in the morning at breakfast and one at lunchtime.
When's that for the radio?
No, the
vitamin
the vitamin B.
yeah.
Yeah, because it is time release. So I think I'll keep doing what I'm doing then. Sounds like that's working. So
I'm not sure. I just know it covers us for 8 hours.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, good answer.
Just you get up very early in the morning.
I get up at 5. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, here? Oh, that's offices. Those are.
She's asking about the roof. Is that grass growing on top of the roof?
Oh yeah, that's grass. We are growing everywhere we can in China, and I want you to know. Can you close that?
Oh.
Don't record me this one. But I want you to know that when we enter in China, so it's one step at a time. Okay, we're gonna go downstairs. I believe they're waiting for you guys in the old building. We're part of the Lakeview Farm. So basically those were also part of the sacrifices that Rehnborg did, because in order for us to be how we are right now, he did a lot of sacrifices. So those pipes, Rehnborg puts them, and the family Lakeview. So they're part of that farm. Yes, great question.